Hello, and welcome to our live stream. And every week, we will invite someone who will have an impact on your life based on our product as well as the achievements by some of our leaders. And for today, we have a special guest where his story, his testimony is definitely going to change your life, right? If you have one of the problem that he has been carrying for the last 50 over years, which is a kind of cyst, which is called sebaceous cyst. Yeah, definitely you will want to watch this because we're giving you hope, okay? Now, to give you an idea, before I call him, to express more, let me share with you what it looks like. Okay, and this is the photo. This is the photo, all right, of what it looks like on our guest for today, Ian McIntosh. He's been carrying that for the last 57 years. Of course, it didn't become so big, but it started small, and he will tell you in his own way how it has grown over the years. 57 years. That's a long time for for any measurement for anybody to carry such a huge cyst. Now, viewer discretion is advised because some of the things that I'm going to show you, the pictures sent by Ian, to me may, maybe really, so you just be aware of that. But it's all good. It's all good. I mean, even though it doesn't look that good, but it's gonna get better. All right. So without much further ado, can we welcome our guest, originally from Australia, but now he's residing in the Philippines for the last 7 years, Ian McIntosh. Ian, how are you? You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, well, good to have you here, Mike. And wow, you have to unmute yourself, Ian. So yeah, you have to unmute yourself because we can't hear you.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully that's
Well,
done.
thank you so much for coming and sharing your testimony with us. I mean, wow, looking at the size of the cyst. Now, tell us, how did that happen 57 years ago?
Well, I was a bright young 18-year-old driving a bulldozer for a living, and I was clearing rainforests with a Caterpillar D8, and the trees were tangled well above the machine. Apparently, some small branches broke off as I pushed one tree, and one of them managed to find its way through the mesh above my head and speared into the back of my neck, about that far. Not very far, but it hurt at the time.
And you were only 18 years old, so you
18 years old.
thought
Yes.
nothing much about it, and then it started to grow, right?
That's correct. I bandaged it up and put some disinfectant on it and went back to work within half an hour. And over the next few years, it started to grow. And after maybe 15 years, it was the size of a golf ball.
Yep.
I consulted my doctor. He said, don't touch it if it's not worrying you because it's in a bad place to operate, being very close to a major artery. So I took him at his word and left it go. And I had booked in to have it removed surgically about another 10 years later, in 1983 it was. And so to speak, it was earlier than that. No, that's right, it was 1983. And I went to the hospital the same day because I wasn't feeling very well at all. I'd been extremely poorly for about 3 or 4 days. And the doctor said, no, we're not operating on your cyst, but we may be operating on you further down, on your stomach. He thought I had a twisted valve. But it turned out that my appendix had ruptured about a week before, and I had gangrene in the intestines, which wasn't very pleasant. And after the operation in the small hospital to repair the damage, I passed out in the middle of the night and woke up 2 weeks later in a major hospital 200 kilometres away. I'd been in a coma. I spent another 2 weeks in intensive care, being boosted with drugs, IVs into both arms, and then 2 more months in hospital recovering from the massive loss of weight, etc., that I'd experienced. But eventually I came out on the right side, and I was to have the cyst attended to about 5 years later, I think it was, or 4 years later. And as it so happened, one of my friends had the same type of operation done in a hospital, different doctor to mine, and he didn't come out of the hospital alive. He died walking to the door the following morning. A blood clot moved. Another friend who was working on the property next door, knew him well, a very fit man. He had his removed about a month later at the hospital I was to go to and have done, the same doctor. And unfortunately for Sab, the same thing happened. He was up in the morning, took a bath, got dressed, went to walk out and meet his wife at the car, never made it. He walked 30 feet down the corridor and collapsed, and that was the end of him.
So because of these two incidents, and they're your friends, and that deterred you from undergoing any kind of surgery to remove it, right?
Basically, yes. I chickened out, so to speak, because I thought I was better to be alive with the cyst than dead without it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, no one could have blamed you for chickening out, so as to speak. But it started to grow bigger in the last 7 years or so.
That's correct, yes.
Since you moved in, and it started to grow bigger, and that must have been kind of like created some anxiety on your part, or I mean, like you're not going to undergo a surgery to remove it, and what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? So tell us how you came across this wonderful magical one. Tell us.
Okay. Well, my wife went to visit a school friend of hers from elementary school days in Davao, and we were there having an afternoon snack with them. And the lady from next door came in, and she just happened to be a Prife Care distributor in Davao. And she saw the lump that I had, and she said, well, why don't you come along to our presentation tomorrow at Matina MTS, blue-grey, and we'll do a blowing on it and see how we go. So I said, look, I'll try anything. I'm prepared to have a go. So we went along.
I mean, you are open-minded enough, because
yes.
there are a lot of people out there is like they won't believe it. You know what I mean? So they would go the other way to believe the mainstream.
Well, I suppose I've always been a gambler. Most of the jobs I've had in my life, you were walking a very fine line of safety sometimes. So I said, well, I've just got to have a go.
Ian, you have nothing to lose because you're not going to go under the knife anyway, right? So
exactly.
You don't really have
much any choice.
I know.
And nothing to lose really, because it was a simple process. It's a device that you blow hot air and it transmits a terahertz frequency with the air into your body, stimulates stem cells, and let's hope that it does the job. And
so
it did.
You went through your first session, and then after that, your wife was doing it for you every day. Now, let me show some photos to our viewers, but as I said before, viewer discretion is required, and I'm going to show you some photos. And wow, Ian, you help explain and carry through these photos. I think
that was before the blowing.
How it looked like, but anyway, so this is how it looked like. Okay,
it looked like that was the night it was blowing first in Matina by Linda Tappy.
So after the first session.
That's right. And 6 hours only after the first session, you'll see day one, the skin peeled off. I felt it come off 6 hours after that first blow.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I mean, the skin peeled off, and was it like wet, or I mean, what was it like?
Not very wet. Maybe there was a little like plasma type moisture there, but it wasn't really dripping or anything. It just, you could feel the coolness of the moisture on the back. That's all.
And the one on day two, there's a darkish, greenish kind of stuff. What is it? I mean, like, is it hard?
Well, we never really found out what that is, but it appeared like leather. It was roughly 1/4 of an inch thick and very hard. You could try and lift it with a tweezer or put a cotton bud on it. It's very hard, but there was no pain at all. I had absolutely no pain at all so far, right through.
So it's just like normal to you, right?
Yeah, just normal to me. The wife.
The sight of it is a little bit, scary to a lot of people.
Fortunately for me, I didn't have to look at it. My eyes are on the other side. My wife had the unfortunate advantage of seeing it every day.
I know. And well, you continued with it day 1, day 2, and this is it, day 3 and day 5. You can see it's getting smaller. And the skin kind of like opens up and breaks up, and you continue to blow it and becomes drier, and it's like it must have felt pretty good for you. I mean, to see that.
The way I could describe it, it was like an orange left out in the sun. Eventually it started to shrivel and get smaller every day until it disappears. Well, that's what this did.
Wow.
And throughout the whole process, there was no pain. But for quite a few days, my wife Gloria was actually removing what was coming from the center using tissue paper, pulling it out and putting it in the bin. It was a white substance. It was dry. It was very much like fine powdered sugar. It had no odor at all, nothing. It was full of that white substance.
Anything that you applied on it, like hydrogen?
No, Each time it was blowing, Dory was spraying with charged water in a little spray bottle.
Charge
Before
water.
the blowing and
Water.
after as well.
Okay.
And once it got to the stage where the center was opening up and becoming deeper, she would rinse it out with hydrogen peroxide, 3%, to clear out any loose material in there, and then just put some iodine, betadine in, and put a gauze over it until the next blowing.
Wow. And I mean, how many days, I mean, how many sessions per day did you
2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the evening, each session around 30 minutes, with possibly a maximum 10 minutes applied to the actual cyst and the cyst area itself.
Okay, so you
twice a day.
your wife basically follow the 10-step protocol and blew
Yes, exactly.
the other parts of your body as well. And
She
also
followed the complete protocol all the way, every time.
you drank the wondered water before and
Yes.
after. Wow. And let's move on. Look at that. It's like kind of like flattening out day 6, day 7. Well, it's a miracle, you know, to see it coming to that level from the original one. And wow, look at this. Day 8.
Definitely a miracle, but
Yeah,
everyone would say, oh, that must
you
have
look at
hurt
the
a lot.
picture on day 10, I think it's like your wife must be really
Yes.
happy, right? You know?
We used to send these pictures every day, twice a day, to Ermelinda, the one that gave the original blowing, and she'd pass them along to Rodolfo. But to look at it, most people would say, oh, that must have been really painful. I can assure you I felt nothing, no pain at all.
Yeah.
Not one twinge, not even like a pinprick for the whole process, which
You know,
is so amazing.
In the Philippines, there's a saying, you know, to see is to believe. So thankfully, you know, somebody took all these photos, you know. So the proof is there.
Yeah.
And even for the most skeptical among us, I guess you cannot deny that it is a miracle. It has worked.
It is definitely too.
And
well, I've had a lot of support from the people there too, where we go. So can I just give a shout out to the people, the HBW people there in Matina? You've been fantastic. All our friends there, and to our friends all over Davao, all over the Philippines, and some all over the world after Bangkok. So thank you all of you for your support.
Yeah, well, as what I've said a while ago when I discussed with you about something different about the Prife community is it's not just about the money, it's about helping. And yeah, so you are definitely one of the beneficiary, and now you just went through training in Sama, right? And
that's correct. Yes, elite
you're
trainer.
now doing the business with with a lot of passion, right?
Yes, we're continuing on. And we're very happy to be in it, and we're very thankful to be able to spread the word to people, and hopefully some more people will take notice of this and have a go at something themselves, because it's not rocket science, it's just straightforward. Have a go.
I know. So look at day 12. This is it. Day 14, it actually healed the whole thing, right?
It was just a tiny little piece that hadn't healed.
I know. Just
within a day or two, that was gone.
I mean, it's such a delightful sight to see these photos of your actual healing.
That's true, Doctor. The wonderful thing is too, I was actually able to wear a collar and tie in Bangkok. Before that, I couldn't get a collar done up. There was always that 6-inch gap in front.
I know. I mean,
So
that's a big blessing. And you met up with the founder, I mean, the inventor, right?
Yes, I met Professor Yang on 2 occasions, actually, in Bangkok. Yes, wonderful man, very humble man, and very thankful for him for what he did. It was a really fantastic invention, and it's going to benefit millions of people.
So you express your gratitude to him.
Most definitely.
Wow, very, very touching, really amazing. And this is the before and the after. Look at the difference. Guys, for those of you who are the most skeptical of skeptics, this is it, you know, Ian. This is it.
This is it.
Proof is in the pudding, right? So
seeing is believing.
Seeing is to believe. And tell us about this wonderful guy who put you together.
This is Rodolfo Cruz. He's I call him my idol. I say, hello, idol. It's a little bit of a joke, I suppose, but he's a great man. And
he's a great guy. I know. I can feel it.
He really helps us out and helps everyone out in the job. And his wife, Mylene, too, is just as wonderful.
Wonderful. And of course, the next photo is you met the BODs, 2 of them.
Yes.
And
at Samuel at the Luau before Christmas. It was a great night. We had a good time there.
Well, you are one of the few fortunate ones, I guess, you know, that next door neighbor happens to be an iTerra Care distributor. And you kept an open mind, and this thing worked very well for you. And
it certainly has. Yes.
So now that you have gone through the training, I guess the next thing is to go all out and share this with whoever who wants to listen to you, right?
Yes, basically that's it. We're prepared to talk to anyone that's prepared to listen, and show them the units, demonstrate the unit, and hopefully they'll take the initiative and buy a unit and go out and enjoy the rest of their life without some of the problems they're enduring.
I know. Well, Ian, thank you so much. I mean, wow, I couldn't have been more happy to see what you have gone through and, all the healing that you have experienced. It's tremendous for anyone, I mean, to have gone through that for 50 over years of their life.
Well, I suppose it's what you give, and it wasn't worrying me really at the time. It probably didn't look that good from behind,
Yeah.
but I suppose I was fated not to have an operation. I was fated to be the one who got the gift from Iterra.
Yeah.
And here we are, really grateful. It's a terrific thing for me. And I hope that my little story helps some other people get the courage to have a go themselves if they have similar problems. I'm sure you will have a similar outcome. And don't think about the pain, because if you're using the Iterra Care terahertz machine, you will not be suffering any pain. I can guarantee that.
Wow.
That's the truly amazing thing about it.
Thank you so much once again, Ian, and all the very best to you and your family. And
Thank you, Dr. James.
may you bless and help a lot more people in the world that you live in. All
Thanks
right.
so much, Dr. James, for having me. I'm pleased to have been here.
Okay.
I'd like to help anytime.
Wow, what a story. It's amazing. I mean, this is a true to life story that even for those of you who have different kinds of, problems, give it a go. What have you got to lose, right? You only have something to gain. So this is really amazing story, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much, Ian. Hope to see you one of these days when I go to Philippines. And well, what can I say? Speechless, right? So picture paint 1,000 words. You've seen it all. You've heard it from the man, and give it a try. It may truly change your life. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye.
Medical disclaimers. Iterra Classic and Iterra Pro are not medical devices. The information provided on our website is for educational purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. Please consult a medical professional or healthcare provider if you are seeking medical advice, diagnoses, or treatment. Prife International shall not be liable for risks or issues associated with using or acting upon the information on our website. Prife International shall not be liable or responsible for the actions, misrepresentations, or negligence of our members who are independent contractors.